Ski, I don't want to read this because it says a make or break moment for RIM. And I look at the USA Today. It says, is this a Kodak moment? The company is ready to talk about the BlackBerry 10. John Fortson with us. John, at one point we had Torsten Hines on, and he was coming to us from Waterloo in Canada, some city up in Canada, talking about the BlackBerry 10. So I couldn't help but say, uh-oh, Waterloo, maybe the BlackBerry 10. And these guys that follow, like if you say something about the BlackBerry, they went crazy. And like there's some crackberry something or other, and that's a bad sign. I'll just let you know. But everybody's saying it now. Is it a Kodak moment? Is it going to make or break it? Is it going to make it or break it? What's your view?
Well, neither yet. I mean, this is a piece that they need to put into place. They need to have strong hardware. They do still have a fan base that will jump on you. If you say bad things about the BlackBerry, that's a good sign. Let's talk about what they need to get done today and what we expect. Two phones. One that we expect might be called the Z10. It's a touchscreen phone. RIM really hasn't been a strong player there before. We expect they might also unveil something called the X10, which is a keyboard version of the phone. That's more the form factor that you come to expect to see from RIM. Also beyond that, the software, the platform underlying it, BlackBerry 10, the operating system. Some features in that include BlackBerry Hub, BlackBerry Flow. You can really get multiple tasks done pretty quickly. The software, it flows pretty nicely. I've seen it. It is impressive, but take a look at RIM's rivals. Of course, Apple, Google riding very high, Microsoft with Nokia trying to come on strong with Windows Phone 8, but Apple and Google really owning this space, not only on the revenue side, but certainly on the profit side in the phone business. Here's what RIM needs to do today. This is kind of like the equivalent of an iMac moment, hopefully, for RIM. Apple, with the iMac back in the late 90s, kind of got itself back on track, defined a space in the computing market. They didn't take it back over with this product, but they defined who they were and kind of set the path going forward. Possibly what RIM needs to do today is to come out, show this hardware, and then set the expectations a little lower that this will take a while to really come to light. RIM has said in the past that they're going to continue selling some phones with their previous operating system for quite a while. That's going to make up quite a bit of their base. This is going to take a while to really sell in volume. So maybe set the bar a little lower here for going forward, guys. Back to you.
Jonathan, thank you for that. We will see what happens today. For more on today's big event, we are now joined by Tim Long, Managing Director and Research Analyst at BMO Capital Markets, and Jonathan Geller. He's the founder and editor-in-chief of Boy Genius Report at BGR.com. Since you're here on set, I'm going to start with you first. You've played with this thing.
I have.
Good, bad, where are you?
It's a great upgrade for existing BlackBerry users that love BlackBerry. I think
that is not a ringing endorsement.
I think pitted against the outside circle, I think it's a little bit more complicated. You kind of have to use it to see if you're going to like it. They've done a lot of unique things. They have an amazing virtual keyboard. Remember, this is the first BlackBerry they're really doing without a physical keyboard. Right. So this is a big stretch in a number of ways.
But a lot of people are going to buy it because it has the keyboard, since there's two versions.
There will be another one coming in about 2 months with the physical keyboard and a touchscreen.
So you're going to use it or not?
You know, I switched off BlackBerry a long time ago, and I don't think I would switch it back personally.
Okay. Tim?
Yes?
You heard it right there. If he's right, what does that mean to the stock?
Well, we do have an underperform rating, so we think BlackBerry 10 is not going to help change the success of the company. As John alluded to, this is one part of the process. We're focusing more on the recurring revenue stream that RIM has that's very profitable, that we think is going to start deteriorating.
So you're writing BlackBerry 10 off in terms of from an economic perspective and just playing for cash?
Well, you know, as of now, the way the economics work, their service business is about 1/3 of revenues, but it's 85% gross margin, and the current devices they're selling are negative gross margin. So this should certainly help recover that hardware business, but the real economics of the company have been driven by the service revenue. So we think it will ultimately fail. We do think it's as you just said, it's a much better system compared to recent BlackBerries. But we don't think it's enough to cause Android or iOS users to change over, and we're skeptical about how quickly the upgrade cycle will happen with the existing BlackBerry user base.
Jonathan, your view is there's no more revenue.
Well, yeah, I mean, just what Tim was saying, their system access fee, basically when you go to a carrier, get a data plan, they share that revenue with RIM. They're no longer doing that because the new BlackBerry systems do not use RIM's network operating their NOC. So there's no more revenue coming in on a service. So they're only going to be making revenue now on hardware, which is exactly what Tim's saying. There's no more BlackBerry email over the network. That whole day is kind of gone. So that's a major issue for RIM as well.
Okay, now I know both of you now seem to be relatively critical of the product, but let me ask, one of the features of this product that was supposed to be attractive to corporates was this idea that you could separate the work and the corporate sort of pieces of the device, and that was going to be very attractive if you ran an IT department at a big institution. If you are a big institution, do you upgrade your people, or is this just a slow train to nowhere where people are going to move to Android and move to iOS within the corporate sphere?
Well, there's a major issue there, and that issue is if you have existing users on BlackBerry 7 or older BlackBerries, you need now 2 BlackBerry enterprise servers to support BlackBerry 10 and BlackBerry 7. So you need double the infrastructure to support both devices, and this has been done before. You have Android devices with dual, balance. You have AT&T offering it, so it is in the market already.
Tim, we got to run, but real quick, why is this not already built into the stock? It's already been on a run here, and what we're hearing this morning is not positive.
Well, I think people often get excited about a new product launch. So, there's a lot of questions that remain. How much will the carrier subsidize it? How good is the ecosystem, the apps that they ported? So, there are people that are going to believe that this has a chance. We'll have to see how the sell-through data comes over the next months here as the product is out in the market.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you for your perspective this morning. We will be watching the stock, of course, throughout the day and the new product launch.
There's a brick breaker or not?
That's the question.
There is no brick breaker.
There is no brick breaker? Well,
there is no brick breaker, at least as far as I'm aware.
Shows you the state of all the stuff you can play on an iPhone, and I'm still that stupid brick breaker.
Thanks, guys.
But there isn't one.
Brick breaker is like Pong.
It is like
Like the first game ever.
It is.